everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all of the wonderful, sweet comments that you've left. I had meant to make a video long before now, but oh well, life got in the way. So I wanted to show you. I'm going to show you how to make a rose, and I want to show you just some of the things that I have here that I've been working on. These are some little ballet shoes that I do for weddings, and this is a little necklace and just some other pieces. But anyway, this is what we're going to make today. And this is silk ribbon, and this is the crinoline. And I had told you in the last video about the crinoline, but this is what it looks like. It's just actually kind of a stiffened cotton gauze, and it comes by the yard like this. You can also get buckram, and buckram is stiffer, and you know, for some things you would rather have buckram, but mainly I use crinoline. And if you can't find it, I have a lot of people overseas that don't seem to be able to find it where they live, and so if you want to email me at lambsandivydesigns@yahoo.com, then you know I'll be glad to get you some and send it to you. And you can visit my Etsy shop also. That's lambsandivydesigns.com. Here's some various shades of silk that I've dyed. The most important thing when you do little things like this, even though you wouldn't necessarily know it to look at this, this has got variations of color, and that makes your designs a lot richer. Okay, so you start out, and whatever size you want your rose to be, you just make a little circle, and then you do spokes. And all I've done is just make straight stitches, and you want them fairly tight. You don't want them very loose because you're going to actually weave your ribbon underneath there. And I'm going to use this piece of silk. This is the thing that I do differently. A lot of people, when they do these type of roses, they actually thread their ribbon on a needle and come up underneath. And you don't have to do this on crinoline. You can do this on fabric. You can do it on silk. You can do it on whatever your background material is. But I find that if you bring this silk in particular up through any type of fabric, that it kind of frays and ruins the edge. So what I do is I just knot the end of it, because it's going to be covered up anyway, and then just come up through here and take a couple of stitches to tack it in place, and just put it in the center, and that just kind of builds some height in the center of your rose anyway. So, and if you weren't watching, I would have fixed that, but okay. And then all you do, hang on one second, actually, let me get I should have done this before I started. This is not actually the needle I would use, but I see it over there. You do want to put your ribbon through something so you can thread it. And then you just go under, and it doesn't matter where you start, and then go over the next one and go under, and at first you won't be too impressed with this, but it starts to take shape. So just go under and over. And actually you do want to keep your ribbon, let it have some twist to it. That gives it texture. I hope you can see what I'm doing. There you go. And just over and under. And ever so often you want to kind of tighten it up. And so you can already see how that's starting to look like a little rose. And also, I didn't tell you, but use a vanishing. If you're going to make your marks, then use a vanishing, some type of vanishing marker that's safe for your fabrics. And you can usually get those at Michael's or Joann's or wherever you get your craft supplies. And like I say, leave that little twist in there. That builds up. See how that'll make your petal look like it's got more texture. And actually, you know, I probably should have cut this ribbon length. I just always hate to cut my silk before I have to. But it would actually make this go easier. And so you just continue to go over and under. And I don't know if I told you, you do five spokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you see, okay, see how this petal is much prettier than this one? This doesn't actually have any twist in it, so it makes it kind of flat. But this is a much prettier petal because it's got a twist in the ribbon. So that's why I say don't straighten your ribbon out. You want it to be kind of messy with this. See, that's actually, I would probably flip this one over and let it have a little texture right there. And that is really all there is to it. And just for the sake of time, now I would do this around several more times. You can see this isn't a circle yet. But when you get to the end, what I do when you're finished, with the with your design, then you can just go ahead, cut this, tuck it right under the edge like that, and just take your scissors or something and just give it a little stitch underneath there. Stick it up under your last petal. Oh, I have a knot in that, but stick it up under your last petal. And then it will be hidden and the end will be under there. And there you go. And you can see how, if you continue on, that you get this. And I'm going to show you how to make a real quick leaf, a real simple leaf. Okay, take your length of ribbon and just fold it in half. Make a little point. And I use very long, these are actually beading needles. And the reason I like them, they're very hard to thread, but the reason I like them, you can use millinery needles, but the reason I like them is because they don't leave holes in your ribbon. Okay, so you just go ahead, just pick up both ribbons, just do a little running stitch. And gather it. Might be kind of hard to see. Gather it. There you go. Have a little leaf and you can just stick that right under your edge of your rose. There you go. So thank you. I'm sorry it's been so long, and I'm going to try to do more videos as time permits, but let me show you a couple of things. People want to see the things that I've started. These are cuffs. This is a cuff I've done. Here's a little just rose. You can see there's the crinoline on the back. Cuff. It's a little necklace. Here's a little headband. There's a little applique with some berries. This isn't finished yet. This is a cuff. More little appliques, pins. So there you go. So thank you very much, and I do appreciate all of the nice comments I've gotten. And if you want to reach me, you can check out my website at lambsandivydesigns.com, or you can email me at lambs